Steve MacDonald, welcome to RaithTV. It's been a bit of a while, and I know that this is a session we've had in the planning for quite some time. An hour and a half in makeup. You feeling now ready to go?
Yeah, so hopefully I'm looking very good for the cameras tonight, and get everybody looking and saying, "Hey, what a handsome chairman you have."
we can promise many things, and I hope information is a key one. I'm not sure we can get you an acting agent, but we'll see what we can do. Let's start, I guess, at the beginning. You're Raith Rovers chairman. How has the transition been for you from local business owner? You've got a long history with local football, and your longest running piece of history is that you're a Raith Rovers supporter. How's the transition been?
To be honest, it's been a lot different than I thought it was going to be. You know, you think you were doing well when you're being chairman of local junior sides, which I felt very privileged to be, and then now it's just it's a huge step up. And again, I've said it a few times now, and hate saying it again, but I do feel really privileged to be in the position, and it's been a learning curve, definitely. One and a challenge, and one that I think with the good people that we're trying to get around us and the good people that are in the club, I think we're starting to meet these challenges, and I'm certainly looking forward to the future.
Great. Let's start with where we are right now. Recent media messages of somewhat of a kind of bleak, overcast kind of look in terms of we need investment, we need change, we need restructuring. Where are we just now? And I guess the question that most people will want to know, especially the younger supporters that speak to me, they say, what's the biggest pressure on Raith Rovers? What should we be frightened by?
What should you be frightened by? That's an interesting one there at the end. I don't think we should be frightened by anything, to be honest. I mean, what Raith Rovers need at the moment, and there's no doubt about it, John Sims came out and said that, we do need investment. We do need, maybe, I feel we need younger people as well, with a fresh outlook. The society has definitely changed, and I think we would just need a few younger bodies about the place with the passion for the game and ambition to succeed, and hopefully that will come in the not too distant future.
Is that at all levels of the club? Boardroom down, investment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's important that we have a mix. I mean, it's good to have the experience as well, but right from the bottom of the club. When I say the bottom of the club, I mean the lower age groups with the foundation and the community. I think there's a good core of young people there who are doing extremely well with the foundation and the community club. It's fantastic what in the short time it's been there and what they've achieved. So yeah, it's just a part of the moving on. I see it as the football. We always look for a football pathway, and I think it's important that we have the same kind of pathway that the community people can then progress and be a part of Raith Rovers Football Club as well and help to take it forward. Yeah.
Moving forward and respecting confidentiality, I'm always looking at the body language, and there's a wry little smile there as you answered the last question. What can you tell us about current state of negotiation, where we're at, where we're going? Might not be very much, because we certainly don't want to be the ones that scupper a deal. What can you share?
No, well, I mean, I was involved up to a certain point there until John went back to Thailand. From then on, since John's left, John's been dealing solely with the investors. I believe he's been speaking to 2 or 3, but there is one Scottish group that seem to be impressing John. I mean, obviously that's, at the end of the day, John Sims' call on who he brings in. And I think John is a very clever guy that knows what he's doing. And I believe that we've got to trust John to bring the right people in. From the talks that I have been involved in, I believe that the Scottish group will benefit Raith Rovers and have got the passion for the game, and I'm sure that they've got the skills and expertise that will help Raith Rovers achieve what we all want, is back into the Premier League.
You work in the town, you live in the town, you know, Kirkcaldy runs through you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of struck with this sense that you're in a bit of hiding to nothing, whereas if you try and inform people, you say too much, you don't inform people, he never says anything. How do you balance that?
Very difficult because I believe that I am an honest and open person, and you know, but there is things at times that you certainly can't say. So I try my best. I try my best to answer everybody's questions, and then at the end of the day, I come out and say, "Look, I'm sorry, Dave. I can't tell you that bit's confidential." So, but I think I try my best to get my points across and their answers that they want.
What about? I mean, by trade, you're a salesman. You know, your life's been in that arena. Quite literally, we're in the position now where it's about the potential sale and the investment of the club. How would you pitch this club? What's attractive about us?
The Raith Rovers. I would think anybody that's football minded, looking at the club would have to be interested in a club with a history that we've got. Looking back over the years, what's happened here, probably punching above our weight a lot of times, and you know, for the fan base we have, especially, we've won cups, we've produced some absolutely fantastic players going back in the early days of, you know, Jim Baxter and Ian Porterfield at Sunderland. I mean, these guys are heroes everywhere around the country, and I remember a story that, well, you know, Jackie Stewart going down to Birmingham, £8,000, and cleared Raith Rovers' debts or built a new stand or something. I mean, it's just all part of the story of Raith Rovers, and the last number of years of the guys winning the Coca-Cola Cup. People looking at the club, I think, can't help to be captured by the history of it, and to see what we've got here. I mean, it's not the Bernabeu or San Siro, but it's an intriguing ground. It's where else could you watch a game of football in a situation like that? You mean, and again, one of the old things that everybody talks about is it's one of the few clubs you can't sit and watch sit at the halfway line and watch the football, you know. It's iconic, and I think people have to be attracted to that just because of the history and the potential as well. There is, though we have a small fan base, we've got great potential here, and I'm just hoping that in the future that we could capture the imagination of the community and get them round about us. We're certainly going in the right direction, I feel, with the youngsters that we have with the foundation and community club that we mentioned. I'm sure we're certainly on the right path.
I agree entirely. The role that you have is clearly kind of multifaceted. You're seeking investment, you've got responsibility for off-field operational duties, but most importantly for most, it's about the playing squad and the support system for the manager. With all of that going on, what gives you the most pleasure? What are the little moments that you've captured, the little memories that sit at the back of your head, that be part of your DNA, that where you say, yeah, I was part of that?
I have to admit, the players, I love being involved on a match day, coming down here. I'm always down early. I like going about the corridors, going in the different clubs, getting the buzz coming from the people. It's just great, and it's great for me that I could walk down and the guys are walking into the dressing room and you're high-fiving, and you know, you're just giving them a wee, come on boys, let's do it today, and it just feels so good. I mean, on a Saturday afternoon, or well, I mean, it could be any day of the week now, but generally on a Saturday afternoon, there's no greater feeling at 4:45 there when that final whistle goes and we've gotten our 3 points or won a cup tie. It's just, it's just, you walk down these stairs with a smile on your face. It's good to be involved.
Day to day, probably the biggest kind of pressure that you'll feel will be about maximising income. As well as what we spoke about earlier is integration into the community. Focusing on the income aspect, hospitality is obviously clearly key to what goes on day to day at the club. How do you maximise that that intake. It seems that there's a challenging kind of economy there.
Yeah.
Last 2 away games, up at Cove and at Linlithgow, 2 clubs which hosted RaithTV really kindly. You know, they were telling us about they used 2 extra hotels up in Cove. At Linlithgow, albeit a cup tie with the glamour of Raith Rovers in town, they're using a bowling club and a rugby club to put extra capacity. How do we get ourselves to a point where actually we're struggling to cope?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, we were going great guns in the hospitality up to a certain point last season, and then we tripped ourselves up a bit, and things fell away, sadly. But we're moving on from where we were last season. We are trying to bring the people back into the hospitality. We're constantly talking about how we could change things and make it a better experience. So we are working on a few things just now, but I think once the people come into the hospitality and see what we do, everybody leaves and says they've had a very enjoyable day. We want to improve on that, most definitely. Can't say too much because I don't know if if these things are going to come to fruition, but we're certainly working on 1 or 2 different ideas, and we'd like to see as many people back in the hospitality, because I'm sure they would enjoy it. Yeah.
You're telling me about this kind of host of ideas, and obviously there's a few things that are moving parts at the moment that you don't want to come out on camera to saying, but how do you get to that point? Is it an extension of what you said earlier, that you're reaching out to people, the door's open for folks with ideas to come in, you're chatting with other clubs? Yeah,
we always speak to, when I'm away and you're visiting other boardrooms and that, you're always speaking to them, how they're getting on, what they're doing, and you look at, you know, I walk into corridors and everything, I see a poster and I take a photograph of it, and you know, things like that. I think that's a good idea. We could try something like that at Raith. So yeah, we're always speaking to people, and even the fans and supporters out there, yourselves. I mean, if anybody has any ideas or something they would say that they've seen at another club they've been visiting or whatever, I mean, yeah, come to us and speak to me, pick up the phone to me, and you know, speak to them, and if it's something that that's of interest and that's something we could do at Raith Rovers, we'll certainly try it. Yeah.
We now have the Titan. What was the hope for the Titan, and how is it going to be used moving forward?
Well, during the week, it's certainly going to be used like as a community cafe. We have the pitch there filled most weekdays and nights, nights time, weekends. That even we've got teams playing at the weekends on it. So the supporters or the mums and dads that are coming down to watch their kids and that, and especially in the winter time, and it's freezing out there, so it's a nice place to come, get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and you know, in the summertime it will be different. We'll be selling juice and nice lollies, maybe, you know, anything to make a crust. But that's what it's going to be used during the week. It's just it's a nice place for people to come in and sit. Anybody who wants to come in out of the cold, they're quite welcome to come in there as well. But match days, we are working on. That's part of the thing that we're working on. On a match day, we would like to see that as a special. Not quite, I wouldn't say a VIP suite, but it may be. There might be certain games that would look on treating it as a VIP suite and serving up a meal, but maybe regular match days we will use it as it could be like a pint kind of place, or a beer and a burger, or you know, again, if anybody's got any ideas, forward them on us and we'll certainly have a look at it.
We've certainly seen some really positive use of it over recent months. We look at the Festive Friends, where the Raith Rovers fans and the Morton fans met and had their meal before the match. Gordon Wallace's kind of tribute, where players that he played with and managed kind of came along and spent some time there. We've had the ability to use it for some filming, which we've been really grateful for. Things like the fans panel, you speak about the warm hub. So something that is out there. It looks like a pretty special place to watch a game as well, because you've got a view like no other area of the stadium.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, right at this moment in time, I don't know what the situation is about standing inside and watching the game. I feel there's a wee grey area there, which I'm not. I think I'm right in saying that you could stand there and watch it, but there's somebody else at the club thinks different. So we're just trying to clear that wee problem up. But certainly, it's a fantastic place to stand and watch the game.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, taking that a step further, now marketing plans are nowhere near my kind of forte, despite RaithTV having a kind of quite supportive role in helping with club provision. How are you looking to evolve the marketing of the club? It's a difficult task. You've got minimal staff.
Yeah.
You've got so much at clubs of our level is underpinned by the kind of scaffolded by volunteers. Do you reach out to people with marketing expertise? Is that something that's in transition?
Yeah, I've spoken to 2 or 3 people since probably before Christmas now. But with everything that's been going on with the investor talks and that, I kind of have put some things on hold. Maybe rightly or wrongly, I should have maybe just pushed on, because we're still working. We've still got to get on with the day job when all these things are going on. But I mean, rightly or wrongly, as I say, I kind of took my foot off the pedal with that. But we are speaking to a couple of people again to help with the marketing. Chris Ross will be joining us on the 1st of February. I've been speaking to Chris regular over the last couple of months. Spoke to him today, and he's all ready to go. So. Hopefully we'll have a Zoom meeting with Chris next week to see how we take things forward.
What will Chris's role be?
Mainly on the marketing side, on the sales side initially. I don't know how the role will progress as time goes on, but certainly to start with, it'll be more on the sales and marketing side, and he has a lot of good contacts, so hopefully he'll be able to attract some of them at Starts Park.
Okay. We spoke earlier about your stewardship so far. It's not been without challenge. What's your biggest learning been? I was kind of making my notes, and I was kind of looking at your time here, and we've kind of gone from David Goodwillie through to Silver Bear and looking over the horizon for positive outcomes in the future. What's your biggest bit of learning? If you could give yourself advice a year on, what would it be?
It's definitely been a roller coaster. I mean, somebody had to do it, and lucky Stephen, that had to be me. But no, I'm up for the challenge. I've had challenges all my life, and so the Raith Rovers isn't any different. What have I learned from it? I've learned that this is slightly different from, big time different from running my business, where I was in control and I could sort it. I was always believed that I could sort the problem. It didn't matter what it was, I sorted it. But here it's different. I don't have the control, and it's different. Even John Sim doesn't have the control. It's a fan based thing as well, and whereas in my work you could sort things just by your actions. Here it's not that simple. There's a process you have to go through, and you've got a lot more people to try and please, which is very, very difficult.
I did pick up in your answer there that you said about control. You weren't meaning between yourself and John Sim, for example. You were meaning the kind of emotional depth of attachment that people have to the club, and we've seen that kind of outpouring, early in 2022.
Yeah.
In terms of reparative actions from that time, do you feel that we're at a point now where the club have done enough to reach out to fans, that the line has been drawn, that acknowledgement's been made, and that it's about us becoming a progressive community club again? Yeah,
I think we have. I mean, Dave, we all know that there will be certain people who will never forgive us, but we have to move on. We can't keep apologising. So I feel that we have to move on. Everybody needs to get back together. If they want Raith Rovers to continue to go up the ladder, everybody has to try and get together. We have to be a team off the park as well as on the park. And I think it's very important that we start to, all the little groups start to come together and concentrate on Raith Rovers instead of the people that are working there, or the people that have caused problems. I think we need to move on. Yeah.
Kind of most obviously, looking back to the start of 2022, one thing that's missing from Raith Rovers' family, if you like, is a women's team. Is there any progression there in terms of taking things forward?
In all honesty, at this moment in time, no. It has been discussed. Would I like a women's team? Of course, yeah. That was a sad situation, so it was very sad that we lost that connection, and that's where we need to try and get that back online. That's where we need to involve the community clubs and the foundation, and see if we can't achieve that. So that certainly it's on the to-do list.
We've got the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, home tie to Premier League opponents in the last 16, and we are really well in touch with the pack in terms of the playoff positions. Exciting times ahead. What's the next couple of months looking like for yourself? Will your fans head on first and foremost?
Exciting, definitely. I mean, starting on Saturday, 3 points on Saturday against an Inverness side who don't deserve to have that long unbeaten run against us. So yeah, I'm looking for 3 points on Saturday. February, massive month for us. Semi-final of the Challenge Cup, and obviously you said Motherwell. So who wouldn't want to be involved at Raith Rovers at this time? You know, what fans would want to stay away from the ground? I mean, it's exciting times. It's both winnable games, which is even better. I mean, like obviously last season when we were up against Celtic and that, you know, you knew that it was going to have to be very, very special to go through. But now we're in a situation where, yeah, we've got Motherwell, Premier League side, and we're on our day out there in Starks Park where we play our best football. We're very capable of beating Motherwell on a one-off game.
You wryly smile when you mention Inverness, that there's Raith Rovers season ticket holders that don't even qualify for the kids one anymore, that haven't seen us beat Inverness in a league cup, in a league fixture. Same question, but with your chairman's hat on, I wonder if the smile will be even wider.
Yeah, well, I think we are now at a time and a position where Ian Murray is taking a while to get his team together, which, you know, that happens. But I think we're starting to see a team that's gelling together. I think we've had injury problems. They've come back now. So I think Saturday is the time where we're going to do what we do best out there, and we're going to get 3 points on Saturday.
I'd love to hold you to that.
Yep.
You mentioned Ian Murray. You sought him out, interviewed, and straight from the get-go you were really clear that you really liked his enthusiasm. And I know Ian is a kind of driven, personable but shrewd manager. How's the day-to-day relationship between manager, head of football and operations, of course, and chairman?
Very good, very good. Yeah, I mean, we brought Alan Halliday in probably about 12 weeks ago or something, and Alan has done a tremendous job. He's one of these guys who just jumps right in. He concentrates. He's football daft, and he just concentrates on what he does best. He gets on very well with Ian and Colin. Speaks to them 2 or 3 times a week, constantly texting, messaging, and it's great to see his enthusiasm. I mean, he's coming from Dundonald Bluebell. He had a lot to do there, and since he's came here, he's realising what football in the big time's all about, you know.
Yeah,
so, but he's been brilliant, and myself and Ian, we got on very well. We talk, you know. It's not like I have a meeting with him one day a week or anything. I speak to him all the time. We'll sit down just for 5 minutes, or go in the office for 5 minutes and just have a chat about things on a day-to-day basis. So we're always in constant contact. And yeah, I think Ian's done really well. It's been a struggle for him because of lack of funds and that, but I think Ian and Colin, of what they're producing on the park now is well worth watching.
This is, of course, one of the times in the footballing calendar where I think if you look at managers' knuckles, you can see they've got a wee red mark from chapping on the chairman's door. Tell us about where we are with regards, is there still room for loan signings, free agents, before the window closes?
Yeah, there is. It's difficult because everybody's looking for the same guy, the guy who's going to put 10, 15 goals in over the next 10, 15 games, so it's very difficult. We're all looking for that, and again, we do not have vast amount of money to spend on players, so Ian and Colin are constantly working on guys, working on the internet and looking at all the different sources of players that they get. So can we bring someone in? We've added Scott McGill. Ian felt that he was a young lad who had played at a higher level, and now that we're pushing for that fourth spot, the youngsters, we've got to get the youngsters playing football. We've got to get them match times, get the legs working. So the guys will be going out hopefully on loan again, one or two of them, and we'll look to bring a more experienced person in. But it's closing, but you never know. I mean, we have the chance to bring in a loan signer up to the end of February. Once the window closes, we'll see maybe one or two more movement from the Premier League side. So, and that's where we could bring someone in from. So we'll look forward to the next few days. I'm sure it'll be quite a busy end to the window as usual.
The other really important aspect is contract renegotiations. Because we all recognise we've got some hugely talented football players. Aspirations, you've said previously, and I remember speaking to you on the day that manager arrived, aspirations were playoff this season, of the league in the year to come, to kind of move forward. Renegotiations have started, they're underway. Any positive movement? I know that we'll not want to name names at this point, but are you hopeful that key players will be tied down?
Yeah, we've already spoken to a few players that are out of contract at the end of this season, and the talks have went very well. So we're definitely confident that we could tie these guys down. They know that, speaking to them, they know that they're part of a really good squad here, Yeah. And so hopefully with what they are saying to us and what we could do for them, that we'll be able to come to an agreement and get them signed up on contracts pretty soon.
Short and medium term, what's your own kind of personal, professional targets for the club?
Well, we need to get to that fourth spot. That has been the goal. Probably at the start of the season, we were hoping to get to the fourth spot, and see what the playoffs bring us. But ultimately, I'd like to think that 2-3 years, we really have to be constantly knocking to get into that Premier League. We'll have a go to get the fourth spot this year and see what happens. Next year we'll have to build on that. Who knows if we could get the investor deal tied up, then they might come in with money that could bring in some more experienced players possibly, or young starlets. So I would like to think that by the time the second or third years away from here, that we could be looking to be in the Premier League.
Great. What are the positives round about the club? What's working well? What are we getting right? Because I certainly see a lot of things that we do very well.
Well, the people, there's a lot of positives here. We've got a lot of good positive people who want to do things for the club. I'm not just talking about the volunteers that help us on match days, Saturdays, or whenever. It's the people that work here as well. They're all prepared to go that bit extra, the extra mile. And I think that just if we could bring a wee bit of success to the club, like we did last year, that winning the Challenge Cup, it just gave us another wee lift. And I think with all that's went on with investor talk, and it put everybody down a little bit, you know, because people were worried about their jobs and thinking, oh, are we going to go bankrupt? So I think we need to get a little bit more success, and that will give everybody a great lift. And when I say success, I'm just talking about even, you know, winning the next few league games, and that puts you right back in a position where we're challenging the top four, and that will give us a huge lift. Huge lift.
We've all been round the doors, and we know that any new long form piece that we put out, the first people to watch it are journalists, financiers, and people who are keen to identify any wee weakness round about the club. However, the motivation with us getting together is always to speak to Raith Rovers fans. That's the kind of whole purpose of this session. What would you want to say to them? What would you want Raith Rovers fans to take away for this session?
I mean, Davey, the fans have been fantastic. You know, I mean, I know that the fans would like to think that we're a big club, but unfortunately, we're not a big club. But we're a very, very good club that could progress. But over the last 2 to 3 seasons, well, 4 seasons I've been here now, and over that time, we've had with the COVID and that, the fans have been brilliant. I hate to go back maybe to that, but the fans have been incredible for us. The money they've raised, and you know, turning up every week to the games, and Ian Murray will say at times when he's talking as well. But genuinely, I have to say this, that I think what they've done for the club is fantastic, and I really appreciate what the turning up every week is through. It's economic times that are very difficult, but they're very, very much appreciated, more than they realise, to be honest. And I want them to feel a part of the team, and I want them to feel that the staff here and myself and the board are all fighting for, and we all want the same as they want. And I've said on other interviews, if anybody wants to speak to me, I'm here. I mean, I don't want people phoning me. I want to sit down with people, and I'll speak to you face to face. And if you've got your concerns, I'm prepared to speak to people. Obviously, I don't mind certainly coming and speaking to RaithTV. You could ask me any question you like, but the fans, if they wanted to speak to me directly, no problem. I'll be open and honest with them as I can. We're all here to do the best for Raith Rovers. We've got to be a team on the park and off the park. So the fans have been fantastic, and I just hope I could repay them. I'm not going to be the best chairman in everybody's eyes, but the one thing is certainly I'll roll the sleeves up and I'll work hard, and we'll look to achieve things and make the club a success.
We know there's going to be changes on the horizon, but we'll certainly spoke about getting together much more regularly. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us, and I look forward to chatting with you in the hopefully near future.
Yeah, certainly have, David. Thank you very much.